And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. And I have the birthday girl on, Miss Gwendolyn Houston. Chat.
You're so kind. Thank you. Thank you.
It is Gwendolyn's birthday, y'all. That's the first thing I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about. That was like out the gate. I said, oh, no need to put you in the studio. Let's keep you right there. She got, one thing about Gwendolyn. Well, there's many things, but one thing, you don't ever have to tell Gwendolyn that she's amazing. She knows it.
And you are right about that. Because sister, hey, look, people can't tell me nothing. You know how people try to shade you and stuff? It's like, partner, try again. Try again. If you're gonna bring it, you got to really bring it to knock this wall down. So sorry, not sorry. Not doing it.
You have years of her brothers and her sister, but mainly her father and her mother. Let her know she is great.
Yes. Yeah. My parents set me up fairly well. If I may, really quick before you get into your hellos, I was talking with the son-in-law because we went and met the brand new grandbaby. Right, he is 7 days old today. 7 days old, and we were just talking about how do you raise Black kids in this environment. And I said, my parents told us on a consistent basis that we were handsome and that we were beautiful. Mother said that the good Lord didn't make any mistakes and they got problems. They can go talk to the good Lord about what they got a problem with. So, if you hear that enough, when you get to a certain age, even in the teenage years, yes, there is still some peer pressure, but it's really hard to make a child feel less than when your parents have told you there's nothing wrong with you. Right. And confirmed it through love and hugs and all the things. So yeah, my dad was cocky. My Uncle John was cocky. I get it honestly. I do get it honestly. The Houstons have a certain swagger. So when we walk together, we all together. Just saying.
I love it. That's the first thing I noticed with Gwendolyn when I first met her. I was like, this girl is badass.
Yes.
She walked in the room with her hair cut and everything. I was like, wait, who's this Black woman?
Yeah. Yes. The stairs, literally breaking necks. I was like, yes, I own all of this. Y'all should be happy that I'm here.
Oh man, she does it. She makes the room come to attention. I love that about she's my work wife, and she's been my work wife for more than 20 plus years. That's amazing to say.
I know. I mean, it's a lot. I've been writing a lot of posts, and there are some posts that are still dropping, and I can't help but get emotional because I think about the people who helped get me here. I didn't get here by myself. You know what I'm saying? That's not how that happened. We are a culmination of who we surround ourselves with, right? And I was 19 years old when I started at the Container Store. So I was very I was an open sponge. And I don't want to say easily influenced, but I peeped game. And there were certain people that I was like, I want to be like that. And then there were other people who I was like, I don't want to be like that person. I know what that looks like, and it's awful, and I don't want to be that, so I'm going to go the opposite direction. So we're a culmination of all of that. And I was there for 25 years, so a good half of my life was spent at the Container Store. I was a baby.
That's right. You were there for a long time.
25
years.
They were like, wait, how old are you?
I only did it for 12. And then one of my friends said, my client, I say, quote my client, she says, oh, you're leaving. You're no longer 12 years a slave. You've been set free.
Oh my God. Did it change? Yeah, it changed. It changed. And I always tell people I had a different experience because of when I started, when they were still small and probably owned. And, I made
it was a great company.
I created three jobs for myself. I don't know where you can do that unless you get a startup, but 3 of the jobs I had, Gwendolyn created. Wrote the job description. We had to do a little negotiate on salary, but I was like, I want this, and I want. So yeah, so I don't know that will ever happen again for anybody else. You know, I mean, the world is still evolving, but
Yeah, and there's some companies still like that out there, I'm
Mhm.
sure somewhere, but usually it is when they're private, and it's usually when they're starting. But once they become
Yes.
corporate owned and have the board to answer to,
Mhm.
then it changes. I mean,
Right.
when I first started at the Container Store, it was an amazing place to work, celebrating birthdays every month. We got all kinds of gifts and all kinds of parties, and we used to hang out, we used to talk. Great, we had what we call foundation principles that we
Foundation
all have for
principles.
the corporate
Mhm.
and everyone was invested in.
Emotionally invested,
Yeah,
which is
and
why I was like, you know, it was different when you are emotionally invested and they're also invested in you. So your education was like top tier,
yeah,
and then you know, yeah.
and for retail, I mean, a lot of retail. I mean, and a lot of corporations. I knew about the Container Store when I was on Wall Street. And I remember the interview, they would interview the company and ask when they were going to ever go public. And they kept saying, we're not going public. We're not going public. But they were already known for being an amazing retailer
Mhm.
because they spent a lot of time in investing in the people that
Mhm.
worked for them. Because the philosophy was if you invested in the people, you don't have to worry about the customers.
Well, that's just good old fashioned business. Take care of
Yeah.
your If you take care of your employee, they'll take care of the customer, and everybody
Yeah.
wins. Like it's just I don't know why we
It's
got
a
away from
win-win
that. But I met
proposition.
the Container Store when I was a senior in high school. They actually came to my school. Came to my school, passed out paraphernalia, the college bound guy, which I still have in an archival sleeve because I'm that person.
Mhm.
And yeah, so we shopped there for a little bit when I went to college. So yeah, we have a long history together.
Yeah,
But
it was great. It was great being at that company, and I wouldn't have a lot of my great friends. I have a lot of friends that came
we
from that
do.
company.
We do.
And that's also rare because most people, when they leave a company, that's it.
Yeah.
You don't see the friends that you had because,
Mhm.
well, like I always said, I think it was in 1990, Black Enterprise did an article talking about how Black people and people of color, or just people in general, are misguided by their relationships at work.
Yes.
And they were saying that these relationships at work are just your coworkers, but somehow we, in our minds, think that these people are our friends, and they're not. They're not your friend. As soon as you get kicked out the building, no one's calling you. No one's saying how you doing. No one's saying hello. And that's the case in most corporations
Yeah.
and businesses. So for me to have I think I have maybe 25. No, I won't go 20. 20, about 20 good people that I'm still in contact with that I worked with at the Container
Yeah.
Store. So yeah, there were a lot of good things there, and it's unfortunate that things changed over the years. But like I always say, all good things come to an end.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, for the most part, it's there is still a part of me that believes you can be true to your core and still evolve and not
Yes.
lose your North Star.
Yeah.
That is possible. These are all conscious decisions to do what we have done.
Mm-hmm.
End of story. So the whole deal, everybody's like, but we don't have to be like everybody. We don't
That's right.
have to be like everybody. You can just do you and do it well and be successful. That is possible. You have to choose it. But if you want to be popular and everything else, then que sera, sera. So there is that.
There you have it. So we have Elise is away, so she's on the West Coast and doing her
Oh,
thing, and so she's got a lot going on her end, and so here we are. It's the two of us.
just
Oh,
the
oh,
two.
wait! I heard a doorbell.
Uh-oh.
Wait! There's a doorbell. Get ready. I think I hear someone coming up the steps. I hear the steps. I hear them walking up the walkway. And oops, wrong. Here we wait. Got the wrong one. Here we go. There it is. I heard somebody coming. I knew. Wait a minute. It is Elise.
Good morning.
Oh,
Good morning.
oh, yes, we feel honored. How you doing, Elise? Well, you know it's the birthday girl.
I know. Happy birthday.
The birthday girl is in the building.
I'm sure there's more confetti.
There is. I've got 2 confetti cannons and a confetti champagne popper. Shout out to Lisa. Give me a whole
Are you going
box
to blast out one of your confettis while you're on the air?
I can if you want me to. I have a whole case.
She has a whole case.
Yes. She is the confetti queen, y'all.
I
The
see.
confetti queen. So how is life going on the West Coast, young lady?
It's going well. The weather's been nice, been beautiful, nice and sunny. Got a little warmer yesterday, probably hit about 90. But it's, West Coast is a little different. You don't get all that humidity.
Yes.
So it's a little bit different, right? So it's been good. I've seen a lot of art. I think I've gone to see art every day.
I saw some of your postings. I was like, wow, this is an interesting person.
Yeah, I went to see Bisa Butler's show that opened up. Everything opened on Saturday at 6. Everybody had an opening. I knew of at least 4 openings of art shows at 6:00 on Saturday. So it was like, you have to pick one. So I picked one. I didn't get to hers on Saturday, but I got to see her art yesterday. And it's always funny how things work out. I went into the little bookstore, and it was just the guy in there selling stuff, and he was talking to a guy. And then I turned around, and she was behind me.
Wow.
And it was in the middle of the day. So I was like really surprised she was there in the middle of the day. So we got a chance to talk, and she remembered me from her New York show. And she said, you're in my video from that show, right? I said, yeah, I remember seeing that.
Nice. Well, before we go on, we'll say some more. We will say some good mornings. And Jazzy is the first person in the gate today. Miss Jazzy Jazz says, good morning, beautiful. And then G came in the building too. Second, Miss says good morning. And Lisa's in third. She says, good morning, Jazzy. And then she says, happy birthday, Gwendolyn. And then we got Dr. Tachi in the building. Hello, happy birthday. And Lisa says, okay, got the days all wrong. Just copy and paste my birthday wishes from the other day to today. Bryce is in the building. He says, what's up? What's up, Gwendolyn? Happy 50th birthday. Welcome to the 50th club. What's up, everybody? Wait, is Bryson, you're 50?
No, Bryce is 20, in his 20s.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, he said, welcome to the 50th. I was like, wait. No, you got me stumped there. What's up, everybody? Happy Wicked Wednesday. Yeah, that would have been wicked if you were 50 years old, looking so good and young. Like, what kind of spell are you under? And I see here. I see here. So I guess the pregnancy shot didn't pan out.
Oh no, we got it. We got those shots.
Oh, so there you go. You got that.
Yes, we before it was like maybe a week and some days, and then he popped out. So yes, we got lucky.
Yeah. So Kim is in the building. She says, "Hi everyone." Dr. Tati says 25 years. That's wow. Yes. Wow. And Kimmy Kim says, happy birthday, G. And hi, Ron, Dr. Tachi, Jazzy, Kimmy Kim, Lisa, Sealy, everyone, Touch Base Daily. Happy 50th birthday, Gwen. And here we go. Let's see. What's up? Hey, what's up, Kim? I see all the love. Good Lord, Ron. You are welcome, G. Hey, Janet is in the building. She says, greetings all. And Lisa says she loves Beza. How you say that? Basa? Is it Bisa? B-I-S-A?
Bisa.
I'm always butchering. Bisa. Yes. And then Jazzy says, happy birthday, Gwendolyn. 50th, thriving and living a life of abundance. Cheers to 50 more. Woo. That's what I said. 50 more. 50 healthy more. And
Lord willing.
Yes. If we can keep the world around that long, that would be good. So that would be a good thing. And bless. I see all the bless. Okay, everyone's in there greeting. Also, if you're in the building, make sure you hit the likes. Also, I want you, since everyone, a lot of the core foundation people here that in this community are in the building, I want you to think about it. So you got about 5 minutes to think about it while we talk about something else. But I want you to think of one thing. Think of how Gwendolyn has blessed you. I know she doesn't like this kind of stuff, but put something in the comment box of how meaningful Gwendolyn is to you on this platform. There you go. I got that right. I got it. I think so. If there's anything she's done on this platform here at Touch Base Daily, because she's done a lot. She's always got a voice. She's always talking. She's always sharing. She's always giving a lot. If there's anything that has really, like you say, when you think of Gwendolyn here at Touch Base Daily, what's your fondest memory?
She gonna cuss somebody out?
Elise, we need Elise. You gotta tip your screen so we can see you. You're like way down there. Come on, you gotta bring your screen down. See what
there I am. I'm trying not to look. All my bed is back there. So how about that?
There you go.
Put me
there
more
you go. And so there's a lot going on in the world. Obviously, we've been hearing about the whole Charlie Kirk stuff, and I know everyone's tired of it. But I have something that I want to bring to your attention because it's an excellent article in Vanity Fair. And what I love about Vanity Fair is that you don't have to pay to read it. Yeah. So let me see. Let me get that screen up. And here we go. Yeah, here it is. So check out this article. It's in Vanity Fair. Charlie Kirk redeemed. A political class finds its lost cause. And by ignoring the rhetoric and actions of the Turning Point USA founder, pundits and politicians are sanitizing his legacy. And this is by Tien Nasi Coates, and he really does a great job in this writing. I mean, he really does an excellent job. And but here's this open. Before he was killed last week, Charlie Kirk left a helpful compendium of words opens that would greatly aid those who sought to understand his legacy and import. It is somewhat difficult to match these words with the manner in which Kirk is presently being memorialized in mainstream discourse. New York, and then he goes through the list of all the people that give him all this adulation, like Ezra, Gavin Newsom, Sally Jenkins. And then he goes through the whole story of how so many people capitulate to his, honoring him, comparing him to Martin Luther King and all this stuff, where we all know in the real world, this man was a bad man, and just simply say it, bad. He was bad influence on young people, bad influence on our communities, bad influence on our country. However, you give it to the right and the mega folks, he's their hero. And then the ironic part of it all is that they celebrate him because of his free speech or his free reign of speech. But then if you say anything about him and how he lives, then you get fired, you get canned, they send their parasites after you to ruin your life. They go into your world and they mess up, and then they send attacks after you. They send death threats after you. So the man that they honor for so-called freedom of speech is the very thing that they do when freedom of speech is freedom of speech. And there's no such thing as hate speech in the Constitution. It is freedom speech, period. Even if it's hate speech, even if it's ugly speech, you have the freedom to do what you want for free speech. So whether we like it or not, we don't have to be for you, but you have in America, according to the Constitution, free speech. But in all of this discourse, I mean, it's been an ugly week. Like I said, I had several of my friends call me from we all grew up in church together. And this is where you'll find these people. These people are Christian nationalists, whether they think they're not or wherever some of these folks that are following this guy, it's ridiculous. And we had I would just have these conversations and we was like, are we up? Is something wrong? We had moments of, is something wrong with us? Because so many Christians that we grew up with are following these teachings and following this Kurt guy. No one's and again, like they said on Don Lemon this morning, no one's saying we condone his assassination or his killing. No one, the unaliving. No one condones that. However, two things could be true at the same time. You could feel sorry for his family. You could feel sorry and pray for his family. You can do all that stuff. However, you can also say that the guy was a jerk. He was mean-spirited. He was hateful. He said the horrible things about Martin Luther King, about Black people, about women, and the list goes on. But yet these Christians, I had to watch my tongue there, those Christians that are following this stupid rhetoric of a dumb man that dropped out of college, and then they saw what a bigot he was, and rich people financed his insanity. I said enough. Anyway, this is it's a great article from Vanity Fair, and Vanity Fair it was released I think last night or this morning, and it's so well done. But this man, Mr. Cotes, he's an amazing Cotes, I should say. He is an amazing writer, and so you would be beneficial if you read this today. And again, like I said, it's you just go to Vanity Fair, just put it in the Google search. It will come up because it is one of the number one articles being read today in America. So, anything you have to say, girls, ladies? I should say, ladies.
You want to go first, Miss Elise?
First, I want to say I appreciate Gwendolyn because she has been, a motivator in my life to move forward. Maybe not as fast as I need to, but she's been there. And very responsive, and then sometimes and she can say some things that I may not say that are necessary. So yes. on this other topic, I think is how the hypocrisy never ends. Hypocrisy never ends. You have actual facts. The funny part is they'll say, well, they didn't do this, but there's a video of them doing or saying exactly what they said, right? The whole thing about Black women, what it is about Black women that bothers him so much. I don't know if one rejected him back in the day. I don't know what it was, but his obsession with Black women. And of course, that's the whole attack on Black women being the most educated populace in the country.
That's right.
And so
jealousy.
So become a target and having the ability to think outside of the bag and the majority of us not voting against our own interests, right? So that's a big part of it, right? And then just to the issue of free speech, you have the freedom to speak. However, as you said, people are losing their jobs, just even if it's just them writing what he said.
Mm-hmm.
The Washington Post op-ed person got fired because she in Blue Sky just quoted what he said. And so they fired her, and she's an opinion writer, which is very she's an opinion writer. And so how they are lifting him up as some kind of hero or savior and forcing people at games to have moments of silence and having people in different areas rebel against their governments, their state governors, and saying, I'm not flying my flags at half staff for this human being, this person who was so unkind and hateful,
divisive
toward everybody, and very divisive. I mean, when some of those things that we hear and he said is meant to divide and create friction and cause violence. those things that he said are the things that provoke violence. And so we have to keep all of that in context as well. That's what it was all about, and that still is what it's about. They're still provoking violence. I mean, you have the DOJ taking down facts and data that show that these far right groups are the most violent ones, and always have been on the FBI list as the ones to watch. The white nationalist terrorist groups have always been up there, and so you take it down like it's not there. But the thing that's about it is the interesting thing about it is you took it down after everybody has used it and snapshot the data and talked about it since this man passed, right? Since you all started spouting the rhetoric, when you have politicians who want to come out like Nancy Mason, say all these horrific things, which aren't true. Yes. No facts, which Don Lemon called her on. You have zero facts. Even the anti-defamation, every statistical thing out there disputes what she's saying. But continue to say it because you want to continue to cause people to divide from each other and increase this hatred. And what I say to us as people is that it's time for us to understand how critical it is for us to come together as a community and truly connect. And people who are the quote unquote Christians, that's what I call them. They're quote unquote. They're not following the words of Jesus. No. They're idol worshiping.
Yes.
I always tell people, I refer people back to Revelation. They're doing exactly what Revelation said they would do. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones they write about. And as you talk to the people that you know in that world and think about what they're saying and how can they say these are the people that you've always known. Yes. They've always been that way. They're just at this time bold enough to show who they truly are. And I think that's what we all have to realize. And I'm always looking for the good people among them. The good people among people will come out and be good people. And they'll speak out against this stuff. They'll speak out against hatred. They'll speak out against divisiveness. But the people that you know in your from your Christian world, they have always been these people.
They've always been. Yes.
They're just showing you who they are. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, for me, they show you that you have no value. You're not as valuable to them as you once thought you were.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's definitely, like I said, two of my friends, close friends of mine. We've been friends. We've gone to the same church, and we've been together. Our friendships have gone more than 20 years, some 30 years. One of my friends just 40 years, and they were like, Ron, I had to go through my Facebook page. Today was a sad day. And I had to just delete. And he said, and we were just discussing that we're glad that we know who these people are now. Yeah. Like you said, Elise, this is who they've always been. Yes. They just never shared their thoughts. And they didn't feel like back in the day they had the freedom to speak what they feel. And now they get to speak what they feel. And so many people I know personally, one of my friends, she called me, she's a friend, client, like a daughter to me. And she called me Saturday and she says, Ron, I cannot believe what I had to do this week. And we start talking. She said, I felt like I was, and she and I are always on the same page. She said, I felt like something was wrong with me. I said, for a second, I thought so too. I was like, is it us? Is it we who are living the right message and sharing love and trying to support people and encourage you? Are we the crazies? It makes you feel that way because there's so many of them that we were raised in church together. And they are all, a lot of these people have totally been sucked in to like, it's like a vortex. It's like something from a scientific movie, sci-fi. Go ahead, Gwen.
Well, I'll start with religion first. I find it odd that people have this idea that only people who are seen as Republicans are Christian, have some sort of a lock on Christianity. I am not a Christian. Okay, I've already said that. I'm non-denominational. I was raised as a Christian. So I do read the Bible, have a spiritual relationship with the Lord, but I celebrate Jewish holidays. Okay, so that's where we are, right? But I find it odd that if you are not, if you say that you're a Democrat, then you're clearly somebody on some demon side doing some devious things. I'm thinking, if you look at the news, a lot of these pastors and what have you, they're on that other side.
Yes.
These are the folks who promote child marriage. These are the folks who don't believe that if you are sexually assaulted, either by a family member or some stranger, that you should have some options. That they don't believe in that. In fact, it's just things that happen. But two wrongs don't make it right. You know, like that's your mindset. So the things I see from this situation in regards to free speech, I think again, it's a test, especially here in Texas, because they, you know, we stay doing some stuff here. But it's the test. People forget though, if one person loses their right, we all lose it.
Absolutely.
So if you're saying, oh my God, it's awful, keep in mind, once they're done with me, they're coming after you too, kid. This is not like it only stays here. That's not how it works. If it attacks one, if one person loses their civil rights, we all lose them. We all. Do I believe that neo-Nazis should be out here saying what they want to say? Yeah. Do I agree with it? No, but they have every right to what they want to, you know, say. Now, if they go to the wrong person and get popped, I had nothing to do with that. You know, there are consequences and repercussions. However, they have every right to say it. That's their deal. But now you're picking and choosing who can say stuff. And I know that ladies like, well, we're coming after those who were targeting folks with hate speech. I'm thinking, isn't there a guy who talked about Liz Cheney in a firing squad?
Yes.
Isn't that guy someplace who is out mocking people who are disabled? Like, I just want to make sure. So we have to be careful and keep aware that when they say some of this stuff, recognize that it's not including you, which is what we talked about yesterday when I spoke to my son-in-law, you know, and I just had to ask him exactly what are we agreeing with? You know, there is an old colleague who asked her group on Facebook, for those of you who agree with some of what he said, exactly what part are you agreeing with? Because even the stuff he said was dripping in racism and stereotypes and misogyny and bigotry. I prefer Archie Bunker. I want to know who you are. I like Archie. Archie was real, authentic, and he was honest. I can respect it. I know who I'm dealing with. I don't need you like hiding in the bushes and pretending. I don't need that. You don't have to do it for me. I don't need some sort of play, right? Say who you are. Archie was real. Now, people may not have liked Archie. Hey, I knew exactly who he was and where he stood. And I can work with that. I can work with honesty. When you're out here pretending that I got to check my back and make sure that there's not like 5 knives or something coming towards me. I don't know. But that's where I go. I mean, we have a lot to work with, clearly. And I know I mentioned this, and I'll turn it back over to you. But we talked about before that when we're talking with people, the people we have the most influence with are those in our immediate circle.
Yes.
And chatting with my son-in-law, I was like, oh, we got to have some conversations, kid. I said, this little boy, my grandson, who's 18 months, said, you're a father of a Black kid. And right now, everybody loves him. They're at the hospital. The nurses love him. They're like, oh, he's so adorable. But at a certain point, he will go from really cute to menace to society.
And he's a dangerous person.
He's a dangerous, like this young man, he's all of 5 years old. But this young man, he's just, you don't know when that switch is going to happen. You have to prepare yourself and your kid for that world. That's where you are. There is nothing you can do. I don't care how many degrees you get, what kind of car you drive, what neighborhood you put yourself in with that bitch ass HOA. You are still going to be a Black man in this world. Recognize that at all times.
Right.
And the care and concern for your body and your kids is zero. Okay, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
No, that was definitely when I was we went for the tennis tournament. Adrian's good friend who was on his team was in the car and saying he had to have that conversation with his son. He says, "You're tall like me. You are Black. You are." He gave him the whole the list of why people are not going to like you, or going to feel threatened by you,
right?
Because you are a Black man and you're a big Black man. You're going to become a big black man. You are going to be instantly perceived as a threat. Just your being.
Right. And this,
Not no. We were saying in the car. He was telling you won't have to say a word of anything.
Right.
Just your presence is a threat to them.
Yeah. And, this is so reminiscent of, because that's why we can never forget history or let them cover up history, right? Woodrow Wilson playing Birth of a Nation.
Yes.
And giving rise to the Klan again, right?
That's right.
So this is very reminiscent of that time, to have a president who speaks vile language as well. One that's always talking about calling people enemies of the state, communists, all of the negative things that you can talk about, calling black female reporters nasty all the time. So we have to be cognizant of that, and as we saw after this man was shot, the next day is black schools getting calls and all of this stuff. And my daughter and I had a conversation. She said, so we are, what happens is they see us, they can recognize us because we can't hide.
Yes.
We're unlike any other group. And that's one of the things that Jane Elliott talked about. She said, they can never hide being black. Mm-hmm. You can hide being a lot of things when you're white, but you can't hide they can never hide who they are. And so we're like we're like the easy target because they can spot us, right? Yep. They know where we are. And we have to be cognizant of that. And then if we have, just like with Gwendolyn's son-in-law, when you have young black people out here, men embracing anything, that man has never said anything remotely that they should hang on to. Mm-hmm. It's pure hate speech, misogyny. Women are just supposed to be in the house, barefoot and pregnant, I guess, all the time. I don't know what they want. And the whole part of, talking about black women the way he did, all of those things. And so when you embrace that, that's a part of the problem. That's a major part of the problem. And the hypocrisy behind it all. You can't say how and they can't say, oh, Christian, but you don't even know Christians are known by their love, not their hate.
That's right, by their love.
By their love, not their hate. And so everyone that says that, I just want them to find that in the Bible that shows me where he is a Christian, where he's one that follows Christ. He didn't follow Christ. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure where they're looking and what they're holding on to. And of course, I know a lot of them have never read the Bible for themselves, even though they claim to be Christians. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They've never read it, so they can't even tell you anything about the words. And it's just for us to have to continue being very conscious of our surrounding and talking to our young people, male and female. Mm-hmm. And I see Jazzy's comment about how the child grows up to a man very quickly because, as they're 12 and 13 years old, they're already judging them like a grown man. They're already treating them as a grown up. Mm-hmm. And so it is a time for us to be cautious and be concerned and be on the lookout. And think about some of the things they're saying. If you do certain things, they're talking about, taking people's passports. I was like, wait a minute, American citizens' passport. If you think I am harming this country, you should encourage me to go someplace. Maybe you should pay for me to go someplace. You should do that instead of trying to hold me hostage. But and I have to say this, as I was talking to my daughter, I said, this is so out of Octavia Butler's book, where people who did not have and did not leave quick enough out of this country were then held hostage and put in concentration camps. This is so in that. And so when you say all those things, and we should never not take any of what they're saying lightly. And because they have the access and so much control in the mainstream media. And as I reminded my husband, I say, I have to remind you that the majority of these mainstream media outlets have been infiltrated.
Yes.
By Rupert Murdoch's people.
Yes.
They're in executive leadership roles. Mm. And so, yes, they censor people, they fire people, they do all these things. So we have to be mindful of that when we're talking about mainstream media. They're not out there trying to make anything balanced. They're really pushing it to one side and telling you what you cannot say. And then, to see things like people who use chat GPT, when the man comes out and say, hey, I'm going to go through and report people.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Remember, he's a tech billionaire. None of the tech billionaires, all of these tech billionaires are part of this situation.
Ooh. This is what Jazzy said, that, and it really is. And this is so, we are so in this. You know what I realized? Maybe because of what I studied in school, I learned about propaganda.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of people understand how propaganda is used is in this nation. And we are living in, in the Trump era is a lot of propaganda, but this segment of this is all propaganda. Everywhere you turn is propaganda.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. And it's what Hitler used.
Yes.
In imaging, showing Jewish people looking like rats.
Yes.
All of the things, and people have to realize, we focus on that, but it wasn't just Jewish people who were in those concentration camps.
That's right.
There were people in there there were gypsies. There were anybody that was different and they didn't like what they were doing, whether they were gay or not. They were all in those concentration camps. They were put in there for, how they lived, what they believed. They were placed in those concentration camps. So we have to remember that part. And as we look at the propaganda of today and how groups are vilified, they just come for us. And as I kept saying the other day, we have absolutely nothing to do with any of this.
That's right.
Yes.
We are home trying to mind our own Black business.
Yes.
Because we know the part and have to understand that a part of this is to they're working their hardest
to draw us out.
Yes. They're doing everything and saying everything to draw us out. And I appreciate those pastors who are bold enough to stand in the pulpit and say something to people and say how they're overwhelmed. The one out of Alpha Street, which is in Virginia, how he came out and said how he was overwhelmed by all these things and how people want you to have sympathy and compassion for someone who had no sympathy and compassion for anyone. So I appreciate those pastors. Pastor Mike up at First Corinthians Baptist Church in Harlem. I appreciate that. These pastors have received death threats. He's been receiving. And so he said, I am not going to stop talking to my people about what's going on, because you can stand there every day and just preach and say what Peter said. But if you never prepare your people for what's actually happening in the world and how putting all that stuff in context of life and what's going on in life right now, how, if you talk about the red letters, how they're doing everything opposite of Jesus. And if Jesus was to come here and be Jesus and look like Jesus really looked like what he really looked like, that he'd be on one of their hit lists. He'd be locked up someplace.
I always said if they would not accept the real Jesus, I mean, because the Revelations does give a description.
Yeah,
his hair was like wool. His skin was as bronze, like bronze,
like polished bread. Yes.
And that brings me to another point. And Joy Reid this week. Joy Reid, I love Joy Reid. I think I love her for all that she used to do on MSNBC. I love what she's doing for her in her show right now. And she is fearless. And she gets threats. She gets threats because anyone that talks the truth against MAGA gets death threats. So you kind of say, who's the violent people? You do not see Democratic people that are independent sending death threats to anyone.
Right.
No. It is the opposite. The most violent people in America are white young men, Christian nationalists, or forget the Christian, just the FBI statistic says white young men are the most dangerous people in the country terrorists. They are the most violent. And they've gone through the list. You didn't see a black person going into Pelosi's husband's house and taking a hammer. You didn't see black folks try to kidnap and torture the governor of Michigan. The list goes on. There's 1,000 things on a list of these MAGA fools. Death threats to all. I mean, think black folks had nothing to do with that event last week.
But we're easy target because we're visible.
But they went after the schools the next day. Didn't even know who the shooter was.
But we knew who he was. They're in Utah. They're in Utah. And the guy he easily blended in with the crowd. Okay, I'm sorry.
The black people are going to be seen.
We all knew who he was. But the governor's like, I was hoping it was somebody else. You knew who it was too.
The fact that he said that.
The fact that he said the quiet thing out loud.
But can I add to that, Ron?
It was someone else.
Can I add to that?
Can I add? Wait, before you go there, I'm going to say one thing. And I know everyone in this community is very, we're like, this is a scholar community. Before they knew who the shooter was, he was a liberal, he was an animal, whoever. But anyway, they were calling him every dark name in the book. Oh, he's vicious. We need to go after them. They're the evil. They're evil. They're dark. All the nasty things they said about the shooter, and did not know who the shooter was. But then I don't know if you guys all caught this. Even the shooter tone changed. You didn't hear them call him an evil dog. You didn't hear them say he was nasty and evil. He was an ugly man. He was a vermint. You didn't hear all of that cleared up. Even this is the crazy part. I'm trying to scratch my crazy word. I use crazy too much. This is the barbaric mindset of these people, is that they were easily, and racism built all in it, because if it had turned out to be a black man or a person of color, he would have been a dog. He would have been a piece of trash. They would have called him a piece of dung. He would have been called every colorful word in the dictionary or out the dictionary. But as soon as they found out it was a white young man, the young shooter. He was from a great home because they were Republicans. He was from parents that voted for. He was from a great home. And everything changed. So even with the evil man killing their own, and I'll leave it at that. But go ahead, Gwendolyn.
Well, you have to have a villain. That's what it is, right? It doesn't work if the villain is inside the house, right? The calls come from inside the house. So it doesn't work. And so you have to have a villain. And I think about two comments, Lisa's comment about South Carolina, and then Jazzy's comment about how they are using gaming to pass these messages. Like I said before, they are dripping with stereotypes, misogyny, bigotry, all the things. So when I was having this chat on Saturday, mentioning things like people being on Section 8 and they shouldn't get reparations because they'll just go out and buy stuff. It's like, time out. All those social programs, they were not created for Black people. They were never created for us.
Never.
And the biggest group on welfare are white people.
White people have always been.
Right? But you got to have a villain. You got to have somebody who doesn't look like you to say, look this way while I'm doing all this other stuff, such as pushing through legislation that doesn't allow for any kind of reproductive health care. I don't care if it was incest, sexual assault, or if you have a pregnancy that could take your life. We want zero on the table. Distractions, right? Keep you busy over here while you can shove stuff over here. It's like I was telling him that he has a daughter. I was like, there's always a war on women. From the moment a woman stepped to the hospital, you have systemic racism built into the medical system that, lucky for you, your wife, my daughter, had a healthy pregnancy. Everybody don't get that. Everybody don't get it. I said, you can go on YouTube, Google, whatever, and look up the number of Black mothers who have had issues having a healthy birth, living the day after the child is born. There is records upon records. We don't get them from Louisiana because they just stopped collecting it. You can look at Mississippi, see about that mortality rate. There's a lot happening out here that when we're looking over here, all this is happening on this side over here, right? So is it easy to keep ourselves together? Probably not. You got to pace yourself. But we have to look at every single thing. And that gaming is a big one because it comes in very subtle messages. Very subtle. And you don't even pick it up. And there's a place for chat. And next thing you know, you're getting looped in and roped into stuff. And you're thinking, wait a minute, how did my kid hear about this? Of the games he's playing. And in the circles he's in that you didn't even know.
There's a whole community there. And I was my Uber driver. I was coming back from the Connecticut tournament. Adrian's so kind enough to put me in an Uber and send me home. And my Uber driver, we were talking about he's a single dad, and he was saying that his son was sharing some stuff about what his son was saying. And he says, son, you need to get out and go out and play and meet people. Go to the go to the park. Go out to the do some things out. And he said, oh, I am going to play. I'm going to play. He's, his whole world is the computer. So there's a white kid, again, trapped into the, I don't say metaverse, but they're in this cyber world. And this is where all these discourse are going on. Even on the Discord app is going on as well.
Yes.
And these white supremacists, sorry, we're not using that word. These white Christian nationalists are using these areas and devices to go after not only white kids, they're going for all young people. Because there's a lot, like Gwendolyn said, she had a conversation. There are so many young Black kids that are also believing this stuff.
Yeah, they're being indoctrinated.
Being indoctrinated.
But that's the thing that the man in the White House said, well, how he was able to recruit these young people.
Yes.
He attracted young people to them. And that's the biggest thing for them. And just to think about, what they're doing inside those games. But most parents don't realize, you think they're just playing these games, but no, they're talking to people.
They're talking to people.
They're having conversations, and there are people in there who know these games, and they come in those games with those kids and start indoctrinating them into these beliefs. And so you do have them, and they're definitely radicalizing them and getting them to believe all of the things that they want them to believe, because they're doing it through these game chats. And that's what most parents don't know. It was a time when your child got on to play the game, they were just playing the game. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
It's a conversion. It's a tank of conversion.
Right.
Also, Lisa said something, and this you heard it this morning. It was, really yesterday. They switched to him dating a transgender, or his mother said, quote unquote, I should say, paraphrasing. His mother says to the media, our son was beginning to change his political views to being a left, and he was experimenting. His mindset was for transgender, or that he wanted to date a transgender person. So I sat there and said, and again, notice they always got to go to this transgender thing.
You gotta have a villain.
You gotta have, but again, it's like what the statistic came out. I was saying it's 0.3% of any crime that's done, like unaliving someone. 0.3% is like some small tiny number with transgender. And these folks like to do this. Oh, Black on Black crime, Black on Black crime, Black on Black, and there is more white on white crime than anything else in America. It's the craziest thing. But anyway, we're gonna close out with this one. First of all, if you're here, make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit the likes. Number 2 assignment for today is we are celebrating Gwendolyn. Today is her birthday. It is her 50th birthday. And like I said, you don't ever have to tell her she's amazing because she already knows. But if there's something that Gwendolyn has done for you on this platform by encouraging you, giving you whatever, put it in this comment box so we can celebrate it at the end. So stay to the end. We're going to also go through some of the comments. I already have some of them up there as well, already pinned. But this is very important. And again, I say Joy Reid knocks it out the box. And it's a little lengthy. It's about 2.5 minutes long, but it is so worth it. And I want to make sure that it's part of this feed as well. And this is Joy Reid this week. I do believe it was this weekend, or it may have been Monday. Maybe it was Monday. What day is this on here? 3 days ago. 3 days ago. This is from the Joy Reid Show. And let me tell you, I love her.
And face that our problem is the right. Not just the actual violence that they're doing, but the way that they're grooming young people to be violent. You all want to talk about Black culture? You want to have a conversation about hip hop culture? Let us have that in the Black community. We don't need y'all for that. You need to have a conversation about what's happening to young white men. You must have a conversation with them. You must find out why they're so angry that they're picking up the guns you're letting them get, that you're making easy for them to get. And why are so many mass shootings happen? This is an actual serious conversation we need for our country. And this conversation cannot be done by Barack Obama. Y'all are not going to listen to him. It can't really be done by Bernie Sanders, although some of them listen to him. It can't be done by AOC. Jasmine Crockett can't do it. You on the right have to do it. And I don't know if there's a conservative who has the esteem of enough fellow conservatives to make that happen. Y'all ain't going to listen to Mitt Romney. But there's got to be somebody that you guys are willing to listen to say that it's enough is enough. Why are y'all so angry? You have the White House, you have both houses of Congress, you have a Supreme Court that is completely obedient to your president. They're willing to give him unlimited power. They're willing to say that he can take SEAL Team 6 and kill anybody he wants. They were willing to affirm that. They're willing to say that ICE can racially profile anybody they want. The United States Supreme Court has said you can racially profile Latinos based on their accent or the way they look. You guys have everything you want. You have legal racial profiling. You've ended DEI. You've ended affirmative action. You get all the best jobs, even if you're not qualified. You can be a Fox Weekend host and be the Defense Department Secretary of Defense. You can be Kash Patel and be a podcaster who wants to go to Valhalla and run the FBI, as long as you're conservative. You have everything. Why are y'all so angry? What the fuck are you angry about? You've banned all of our books. You've banned Black history. You banned the 1619 Project. You don't have to compete with women for jobs. You've chased them out of the military. You've chased them out of the senior positions in the Department of Defense. You've gotten rid of all the Black history in the museums. Museums are terrified. I have contacts that I'm talking to inside of the Interior Department, people who are running all of those spaces where you can go and see a Civil War memorial or something. The people who work in these places are terrified. They're afraid to tell the real history. The people who are working for the federal government are afraid to say the word Black. You guys have canceled Black scholarships. You're damn near, I guess, ready to get rid of HBCUs. Donald Trump just recently said they're not going to fund any minority serving institution. Y'all have gotten rid of that. You've gotten rid of help for Black kids to go to college. What more do you want? What are you so angry about? I go every so often, I go and lurk and look on X-Twitter. Y'all are the maddest people ever. Y'all are so angry for people who have everything. Y'all said you want your country back. You have it. The rest of us are sitting back and trying to keep our peace and preserve our peace while you all are running the country.
Now, did she nail it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep. She nailed it.
I sat there and said, it's been played everywhere. I mean, that was the best summary of where we are, white America. And she, as much as some of these people hate her, they hate her in MAGA. They send her death threats. They do all kinds of stuff. They say all kinds of nasty things to her. You go on, while you're in her feed, like you look at her show, and if it's on Instagram or whatever, you'll see all the nasty stuff as it's in time.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
I don't know why they're there. It's like, if you don't like it, why are you in her feed?
But again, why are these people so angry?
You know, it's like, if you don't like these people, why are you lurking in the bushes? Get you some business. Like, I don't understand.
Anyway, I just wanted to, guys, you can find that on the Joy Reid show. And man, I thought it was so masterfully done. I had to save it. I was like, this is like literally word for word. But anyway, this is how we're closing out. If you have anything good to say about Gwendolyn, this is your time to say it. And some people have chimed in. So let's go. Here we go. And then she's gonna pop her own confetti at the end. Janice says she pointed me in other directions. She also keeps Ron on track. And then Kimmy Kim says, I definitely love Gwen. Her fiery personality and her ability to create all her wonderful content. And then Kaz says, definitely her choice of colorful words that are also impactful. She is willing to take time with those willing to learn new things, set visions and goals with a twist of fun and laughter. And Lisa says, for me, G $ is the great listener. She has given sound advice. She supports my business in all ways.
That was G Money.
From purchasing my merch to making videos, such as a great person. And I am thankful this platform introduced us to HBD. Nice. Happy birthday. And Gwendolyn, Dr. Tice says, Gwendolyn is amazing. So appreciative of your support of Indie Soup and more. If you have any more, this is your chance. This is your chance to share why you love this woman. Well, you can't love her more than I do, because I love her beyond words.
The husband does.
Well, the husband does. I'm talking about in this community.
So that's a different story.
That's another story. Mr. Jack is the man.
Say Gwendolyn gonna have us all out here trying to put out our sexy video shoots.
Yes. Bryson
what
says,
can I
welcome to the 50th club, Gwendolyn. She's always cussing. Omar says, thank you, Gwendolyn, for your unique qualities. Beautiful and sassy.
Thank
you.
And
Chris R says, happy 50th, Gwendolyn. And so there you have it. I'm not even doing announcements today, but y'all know how to follow us.
Are we gonna pop it?
You're ready to pop. We're ending with you popping.
Okay,
here we go. Here we go. Oh, yes, there we go.
It was
loud. You got your ear near that thing.
I have stars.
Stars today. Well, you are the star. You are the star.
I see
Jazzy. We are so thankful for you. I am so thankful that I get to talk to you almost every day of the week. I am so thankful that you are on this platform. You have given me such encouragement throughout the years. You are the best work wife any person could have. And I celebrate, it's almost 25 years of being my work wife and keeping me in check and giving me your honest opinions.
I got you, bro.
And supporting me in whatever endeavor I have embarked upon. You are my dearest, one of my dearest friends, if not the dearest friend. And so I am thankful to God for you. I am thankful that he put you in my life. And I'm so glad that you walked into the Container Store with that bald head and strut through the front on our meeting. And I said, who's that black girl? I got to get to know her.
Thank you.
And we've been friends ever since. I was like, went to the break room, saw her. I said, who are you? I said, well, your name is Gwendolyn? She said, yeah, my name is Gwendolyn. I said, okay, my name is Ron, blah, 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 blah. I work here at the 6th Avenue store, yada, yada, yada. And we've been friends ever since. We have not looked back. We have not stopped being friends. She keeps me in keeps me balanced. So I'm thankful to God for you, my dearest work wife.
Thank you.
And I know Mr. Jack has something really good planned for you.
And look at her face. She's like,
He probably does. He probably does.
I know he does. I know he got some box coming somewhere sometime today. There's got to be something. You know how he rolls.
Yeah.
He's got you. Maybe he'll get you a new camera or something. I don't know, but her husband is the best. He's so supportive.
That he is.
He is. I could not have said. I mean, and I'll mention this quickly. Is that Gwendolyn, when we were, we used to hang out. She was like, I ain't getting married, ain't gonna never happen, blah, 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 la, la, la. I'm just living my best life. And then out of nowhere, Mr. Jack pops in like he just landed on the planet and just changed everything. I said, he must be an awesome man. This got to be an awesome, not just a good man, an awesome man. And he has proven to be so. And so I am very thankful for both of them. But Gwendolyn has been my right arm for decades.
Yes.
So, any last words, Gwendolyn?
No, I just want to thank everybody. Like I said, I am a culmination of people I hang around. And so all of you are part of me. And you're why I am the way I am. So thank you. Seriously.
Yeah, just amazing, Gwendolyn. Just amazing.
Jazzy says, G, you are the epitome of what it means to be a community warrior. You want to see us uplifted and succeed. And for that, you are appreciated. And then all the confetti and the love and the hearts and all that good stuff. Derek says, love Gwendolyn's New York, Texas sass. There we go. And this is and Anthony said, I'm late, but good morning and happy birthday. Kimmy says she looked at our pic, the pic that we posted, or you posted. Did I post it or did you post it?
I posted it.
I reposted it. Yeah. That pic that she had posted us to from back in the day. Yeah, we were something else back then, weren't we?
Yeah, still something else.
And Janice says, you are amazing. And can you still hear?
Yeah.
Oh, with that popping.
Yeah, it was loud. It was a cool snap.
Yes, we love you. We love you, Gwendolyn. Hey, Chris is in here. He said, sorry, I couldn't be on. Gwendolyn, I love you and I appreciate you for being you. See you for the party later. There you go. He says, I sent you a text earlier. And so, Gwendolyn, there you have it. You see all that love, I do. We are a small community, but we are a powerful community, and we love all of us. We just this is a great place to be. And if you're here for the first time, make sure you just subscribe, join our wonderful community here. Also, you can go to Gwendolyn's page. She is, her subscriptions are just moving. I'm like so proud of her. She's like, but she stays busy. She's always giving.
She does.
She is always giving. If you want to be a part of a community that's giving, make sure you join Gwendolyn's community as well, because she seeks out to just do nothing but give to others. And Dr. Tachi says, Gwendolyn, why would you pop it next to your ear?
I'll do better. I got this one for later on today.
Oh, that's a big one.
I bet you she got a whole crate.
I got a case. Yes.
You're gonna be cleaning up a lot of confetti.
Yes.
But at least she didn't get it mixed up with the baby one like last time.
No.
The baby one, the powder was everywhere. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Touch Base Daily. Trend Watch Thursday. Chris will be here tomorrow. And we'll be talking about what's going on in the world. But again, you have the Vanity Fair article to look at. You also have the Joy Reid. Those are where we focus today. And also, do something you love to do. Give someone a hug. Keep spreading love. Even when there's hate, we still spread love. We are the red letter followers. We love the red letters. And that's all to it. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a good day. Love you. Bye. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.